So wait, when did you first hear about Hyre Fest?
To be honest, I don't really know. I think it was when I saw that video.
How did you get brought into this project?
I had never heard of Hubby or Columbia before, but they reached out to our company and offered a lot of money.
Did you know what he was doing before Hyre Fest?
I think he ran some sort of networking program before this.
5 years ago, Hubby realized there was a market for putting a bunch of established professionals in a room, calling them executives, and teaching them basic business concepts they already knew. The thing was basically printing money.
Let me get this straight. You had this cash cow, and Hubby decided to risk it all to start a full-time program that promised employment at the most prestigious firms?
Yeah, exactly. He thought Hyre Fest would bring added prestige to CBS.
When I first met him, I thought, that was pretty dopey. But he clearly has a vision.
When I saw the call list for the promo shoot, I was like, holy shit, these are the 10 most desirable companies in the world.
Don't you know that this is how we party, fooling with your body. Come on everybody, you can't get enough of me. This is how we party, fooling with your body. Don't know how it started, you can't get enough of me.
We need to grab people's attentions. Get them excited. What if we had all of our recruiters post our logo on their LinkedIn at the exact same time?
At first, the recruiters had all kinds of questions, like what did the logo even mean? But then we promised each of them one Dean's List student for the summer. That satisfied them.
What are we even promoting here?
We're promoting an Ivy League pipe dream to a bunch of losers who didn't get into Harvard or Stanford or Wharton or don't want to spend the winters in Chicago.
Black Beatles in the city, be back immediately to confiscate the money.
The promo drove a ton of traffic to the website, and we were ready. We had mock-ups of the building, the hottest professor lineup, and a list of sick recruiters who would be there. Yeah, I know that's what Christensen got for Yellow Palooza. Look, this thing is gonna be huge. Yeah, like even more lit than Harvard Cello.
What really attracted me to Hyre Fest was the opportunity to be at the very center of business on an island once owned by John Rockefeller.
When I first heard about Hyre Fest, I was skeptical at best. In 4 months, build a top 9 MBA program? What? Top 6? Really? Anyways, crazy. And when I asked who's in charge, they said he's the visionary behind trickle-down economics. Anyways, I've got to hand it to Hubby McFarland. In the first 3 weeks, they sold out the first class, which is insane.
Once we sold out, there was this moment of pure euphoria. High-fiving, hugs, and then it hit us that we actually had to build the fucking thing.
We realized pretty quickly this was going to be a lot of work, so we called someone from out west.
Let me tell you, this stuff is really hard. You need faculty, you need a curriculum, you need career advisors. Well, that one's kind of more of a nice to have, but you definitely need a building. And let me tell you, these people were completely in over their heads.
4 months to build a new facility just isn't enough time. Permitting alone takes 10 years. Luckily, we found this old vacant building. It was perfect.
Don't get me wrong, Eurus was an amazing find. We had 500 people coming, and there were no bathrooms and like 3 electrical outlets.
We promised each professor an office, which meant an 8-floor building became 3 floors. We had to make compromises. Girls' bathroom on the 2nd floor, guys on the 3rd, an overflow building a mile away. It wasn't ideal, but things still felt like they were coming together.
And then the hammer dropped. We realized we'd be out of cash before orientation even started. Luckily, Hubby kept finding ways to generate more cash, starting with adding more students.
What
my motherfucking name.
Yeah, that was freaking brilliant. Hubby partnered with his good friend J-Term to create a premium branded experience for international students who didn't even need jobs. The J-Term offered even less class and more travel.
I just don't think there's enough time to feed the pigeons.
Yo, if Goldman wants to go feed the pigeons, they got to feed the fucking pigeons.
Implementing a grade non-disclosure policy meant students would stop coming to class within a few months, which meant we could admit more people.
He also found a way to cut labor costs.
What if we sell leadership development? We'll have the students run the orientation themselves. We'll call them peer advisors, give them a $50 gift certificate to Party City, and let them figure it out.
Genius.
Lastly, he came up with this brilliant concept, Flex Cash.
About a month before Hyre Fest, I got this really pushy email telling me to load money onto my ID card, and that many of my classmates had already added over $20,000 for things like books and lunch. I obviously did the same thing.
Hubby's fundraising skills were unmatched.
Can I have some money? Thank you! You are a great alumni.
Yet this thing was still a disaster. What, you need 50 years to build a top business school? Yeah, well, time was ticking away and we still had so much to do.
A week before, we were nowhere near ready. The study rooms weren't finished, and we had made no progress chasing the squatting undergrads out of the library.
That's when the Poets and Quants story broke. Someone with a clear vendetta and a lot of inside info started sharing photos of the carnage. We got some pretty concerned emails from students.
And then the professor started pulling out. After the Poets and Quants article, they decided they'd rather stay at their old schools.
And we haven't even talked about the food yet.
Jeepers. Somehow, each of us thought someone else was taking care of it. Thank goodness for Chef Tony.
With a day left, I said we should cancel it. Our PAs were working around the clock. We just weren't ready.
Hubby wouldn't have it. He'd already taken out loans on next semester's tuition payments, so canceling the program wasn't an option. The show had to go on.
We were already pretty upset when it took us 90 minutes to get from JFK to Penn Station. Then we realized that the private luxury transportation that we were promised wasn't quite what it was cracked up to be.
My first clue that something was wrong was when they herded us off into a different building for breakfast and just left us there for 4 hours. These people in blue polos were passing around shots of coffee and basically forcing us to drink.
Honestly, my first clue was when my luxury villa turned out to be a student dorm I had to share with some SIPA random.
Eventually, we couldn't stall them any longer and took them to yours.
Dios mío. What?
Eventually, hubby had to face the music. Then his leadership skills really showed.
Sorry I can't be with you all in person, due to circumstances beyond our control.
They were completely within our control.
This is it. But we still have some great professors. You'll learn a lot. More importantly, you're all here together. You're all amazing people, and this is a unique chance to build a network that will enhance your career more than you know. Grow up, learn some things, and have fun.
$2 million.
Yeah.
No.
This is not.
Actually, though, he was right. Sure, there was the temptation to ransack the place and steal from each other, but who does that? We're not psychos. Plus, looking back on Hyre Fest, basically everything hubby promised came true, despite the shitty facilities. I have no complaints.
Somehow, hubby pulled it all off. The crazy thing is, he quit a couple months later.
I'll arrange a comment later. Thank you. Thank you.
I guess he felt like he did everything he could.
Well, almost everything. Turns out, hubby never got the permits to serve alcohol at our socials, and Lee Bollinger was holding on to all the beer. So I took a shower, used some mouthwash, and went over to his office fully prepared.
Prepared to what?
To make a donation, obviously.